What is up everyone? Welcome back to another video on TPL Locs. Today I am back with another review, another highly requested review. Today we are reviewing XXXTentacion, but before we start, I'm gonna ask you politely to please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. You can just scroll down here and press the red subscribe button, because I know almost 90% of you is not subscribed to this channel and we're trying to get to 5,000. So make sure to subscribe and let's begin.
Jahseh Onfroy.
He is known professionally as XXXTentacion. He was an American rapper, singer, and songwriter. And although he was a controversial figure within the hip-hop industry, he has been regarded to have left behind a huge musical footprint. The most notable aspects of his appearance were his tattoos and his, of course, distinctive half-colored locks. Let's review his locks. Okay, because he's had such a short career, there's not much of a huge timeline that we can really set for him, but we're gonna start with the picture that I could find where he has no locks. This is the first picture that I could find of him where he had no locks. He had basically very short hair and a lineup in front. You can also see that this picture is quite old because his cell phone doesn't look like the smartphones we use today. So this must have been before 2010, somewhere around that time. So then we jump to this picture where you can see that he grew out his hair. So he has an afro going on with the shaved sides on the bottom, and maybe he has even picked his fro because you can't really see his curls. And this kind of reminds me of what my hair looks like when I use an afro pick and kind of comb out my hair. From this picture, we jump into this picture where he has again cut his hair. So you can see that he has some length on the top and shaven on the sides. And I believe that this is right around the time that he started his locks, because if we look at the next picture, we can see that he has maybe twisted his hair, finger twisted, or maybe he used a sponge, the sponge rub method, or he has braids or some other type of twists. It's not really clear to me here how he got started, but at least this tells me that he started his locks intentionally, because after this picture, we can see that he is keeping those braids or twists or whatever they are, and they are starting to bud. So in the beginning stages of locks, twists start to bud if you don't take them out after a few weeks, and if you just keep washing your hair gently and don't really mess around with your hair or slightly retwist your hair, you will eventually start getting locks. So here we can see the beginning of his top lock journey. His locks are starting to grow, and to me they look neat enough to say that he did retwist his hair. So I think he uses the retwist method to get his locks going. Most people, I believe, use the retwist method to keep their locks a little bit neat, especially in the beginning, because they can become very frizzy. But I also know some people who just leave the hair alone and just pull it a bit apart, the semi-freeform style, and they never have frizzy hair. So it can be either of these scenarios in his case. Then in 2017, this is, I believe, we can see that he has that Cruella de Vil hairdo. One side of his locks is blonde, bleached, or colored, and the other side is still black. And this is, I think, how many people got to know him when he first started, where he had the black side with a little ponytail, and on the right side he just has the blonde locks. And you can see that it's still in the budding stage, especially if you look here and here. The hair doesn't look very tight yet, but if you look at the ends a little bit here, you can see that they're starting to mature. And his ends, they look very neat. This could be because he twists it, or again, some people's hair just seems to look really neat at the ends as well. That same year, we can see him with a different hair type at a concert that he's giving, and he has the two braids going on. So early on, he also started using lock hairstyles, different kinds of hairstyles to express himself with locks. And I believe many people do this because if you have started locks, after a while you can get kind of restless with the idea that your hair always looks the same, and some people love these hair styles to kind of have some variety with their hairstyles. You can see that he has shaved the sides and he keeps on doing so. It's a signature look that many rappers seem to have. If we then move to 2008, we can see that he has a new hair color. No longer does he have the two-tone, the two colors. On the one side is blonde, on the other it's black, but he's made his locks blue. And I'm not sure if that was intentional, that he only got his locks dyed blue and the root of his hair is black, or this picture could be after 6 months or a year when you grow out your colored hair. Either way, we can also see that he has many face tattoos, and the one on his cheek looks very fresh to me. It looks like a freshly done tattoo. And the one below his right eye is in red, and I believe it says something like "in peace" or something like that. But when I was researching these pictures, I thought he had like a black eye or something, but turns out it is a tattoo. He also has his mother's name across his chest, Cleopatra. And yeah, he got the pineapple look going on, which I can recommend to anyone. The pineapple look, in my opinion, is the superior look. If we go to the next picture in that same year, we can again see how blue his locks are, and also how mature they've gotten, because they look way skinnier, way tighter, and also a fair bit longer. Now they almost reach the bottom of his cheek. So yeah, he's been growing them out for a few years, I'd say 2 years here. Now this picture I thought was interesting because in the previous episode, in the Afropunk episode, I showed you a person with an amazing lock style, and this kind of reminds me of that, with the two horns sticking up. I think this was for some sort of campaign or maybe an album cover. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I really like the diversity of how he carries his hairstyles. And this also shows people that locks don't have to look the same every time. You can do so much with them. They're so versatile as a hairstyle. Here again in the black and white picture, we can see that he keeps shaving the sides, and his locks just continue to grow. Nothing really interesting here to add. I just wanted to show this picture because I think it looks pretty cool. And then I want to show you this picture because I believe this is kind of what he looked like in 2018, just before he passed away. And his hair is gray. He's got this silvery gray locks, but if you look closely, you can see that his locks are still kind of have a blue undertone maybe. So I think he went straight from blue through some bleach type process to get to this color. I think they really look awesome on him. I just don't think that for many people it's sustainable to keep dyeing and re-dyeing your locks. So if this were a temporary thing, I think that would be best for people who are looking to dye their locks. But what's also interesting about this picture is that he has shaven his eyebrows, and I believe we've seen Jaden Smith kind of being inspired by XXXTentacion, in my opinion, because the way he carries his locks and also shaving his eyebrows, I believe that Jaden did that too for the tour that he's on now. Iris or Eris, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's cool to see that different artists are kind of inspired by him. So if you enjoy this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.